Look what's going on. Hey, Miss Ann. Hey, Hannah. Hey there, kids. Look at these beautiful girls. So healthy. Looking good. Ann's thinking of jumping out. Hey there, Miss Pebbles. Or was that Penelope? I think it's Pebbles. Hey there. Look at them. Ann wants out. Big time. Don't you, Ann? Yeah. So with all the craze about buying baby chicks this year, Tractor Supplies and local farm and feed stores everywhere were selling out of chicks as fast as they could get them in, right? And hatcheries, McMurray Hatchery and My Pet Chicken, and I'm sure Cackle Hatchery and all the other hatcheries were selling them out like crazy as well. People who have chicks, who already have chickens, are wanting more chickens. People who do not have chickens are wanting chickens for the first time. And it's big, massive craze. But also, hey, if you're inexperienced and don't really know what's going on, or maybe you're just trying to learn, do you have chick problems? Right? You got problems with your baby chicks. There's a wide variety of things that can happen, I guess, but there's really truly only a few causes of these issues. As you can see here, we only have 6 in this tote, right? It's just it's a brooder made out of a clear plastic tote that we bought at Walmart, and it's not huge, big enough, right? There's a brooder heater in there. There's chickens getting ready to jump out. There's feeder in the water and some pine shavings. Very, very simple setup. And the next thing is they're pretty clean. They're not sterile, okay, but they are fairly clean. I recently seen a list of things that people are concerned about and the problems that may be the biggest issues that people have with their baby chicks. And part of it is they smell bad, or that, you know, things like that. Well, if they smell bad, it means they're not clean. I mean, like these chicks right here don't smell. You know why? We keep them clean. If the brooder starts smelling a little bit, we change the pine shavings out. We have a second tote, clear plastic tote just like that one. Put fresh pine shavings in it. Move the baby chicks over to there. Move their heater and water over to there. And clean the other one out. It's a very simple process, right? I mean, like hygiene can eliminate a lot of problems. Bad hygiene is one of the worst things you can have for your baby chicks. They need to be kept clean, but not sterile. Okay, there's a difference. But if you have smell, because you're not clean enough, if you're starting to get disease in them or something, or they're getting sick, they might not be clean enough, right? A lot of things can be eliminated by just making sure your chicks are kept clean. And as you can see here, they're going on top of this brooder heater, right? And they'll poop on it some, but we just clean it off with vinegar spray, right? We just spray it down, wipe it down, and spray it. And Ann jumped out here. Hey, Miss Ann, you need to jump back in, okay? Sorry, Sonora wanted to say, hey, she jumped out too. Ann jumped up towards me, and Sonora jumped out the other side. They're getting to that age where they just want to keep jumping out. But now, I was saying about the brooder heater, right, Miss Sonora? Did you hear me talking about it? Sonora, as in Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. That's Angela Kay's favorite movie. And Sonora Webster was the main character. She was crazy. Well, just like this one, right? but like, so we're talking about cleaning out the brooder heater, but all we just simply do is, if the game gets a little bit of poop on there, take some cheap paper towels, wipe that off, throw them away, and then clean it off with some vinegar spray. Just a diluted spray bottle of vinegar. Spray it down, wipe it off, clean it up, and move along. It's just a little bit of effort to keep them clean, and hygiene can eliminate a good hygiene can eliminate a lot of problems. Come on, Sonora, let's go. Come on. Another problem that people may have with pasty butt. Pasty butt is a big problem. Okay, it really is, and that's honest, legitimate issue that people face, and they're really confused as to why that happens. Okay, so pasty butt is a term that references them getting their fecal matter stuck in their down around their vent. Okay, their hindquarters, right? So especially when they're week old and less is truly your watch time for it, but it can happen anytime before they get their feathers fully developed. But week old and less is truly the hot zone for it. But like that happens, and it's a problem, and you gotta get it cleaned up. You can't let it stay there because it can really do some damage and possibly kill them if you just simply don't care to clean it up. But what happens there, typically, it's because of heat stress. Sounds crazy, I know, but they're probably too hot if they have an issue with pasty butt. Okay, it can be poor diet as well, but typically it's heat stress. A lot of times people are going to tell you, okay, give them some eggs, like a high protein, like scrambled eggs. Okay, scrambled eggs, it's anything high protein that helps kind of clean it up, because maybe their poop was too loose, and maybe that'll kind of make it more solid coming out. Okay, sure, it can help, but that doesn't solve the problem if they're too hot. Okay, it's a band-aid for the issue. The root cause of the problem is most likely that they're too hot. It can be poor diet, or maybe you didn't put chick grit in their feed, because they do need chick grit, especially after a couple days. You need to start sprinkling some chick grit in there and getting them used to that grit, because they need grit to process their food, just like an adult chicken. They got to have grit to process their food. They don't have teeth, so if you're not giving them grit, it can cause digestive issues like that. But typically, it's because they're too hot. I don't know what I honestly don't know the science behind it, but I can guarantee you they're too hot. You can avoid that by using a brooder plate.
But when you use these heater plates like this, it really keeps their temperature regulated. Isn't that right, Sonora? Yeah. So they can get under there and get warm, and then they come out and run around to cool off. And they can go back and forth really well. The heat is not a harsh heat, whereas a heat lamp is a really, really, really harsh heat that is no way to regulate it unless you just kind of keep it way back. But then it can almost get too cool, and they can heat up the whole brooder, and the whole brooder can get too warm, and they have no escape from the heat.
That's just the dangers of a heat lamp, for your chicks, and not to mention the dangers for possible failure and fire, right? But the heat lamp it does work. This is our first chicks we had. We used the heat lamp, plain and simple. We did, and we had issues with pasty butt because the heat is very harsh, and so you really got to be careful. It can heat up, like I said, it can heat up the whole brooder, which you think is a good idea. It sounds great, but that heat just kind of stays in there, and they can get too hot. All right, too hot is a bad thing. Too hot is probably worse than too cold. Just being real with you, they can huddle together and warm up if they're a little cool. If they're a little hot, you're cooking chickens. You're cooking chicken in there, literally. Okay, so you gotta be really careful. That's why a brooder heater is the way to go. It's just a better heat, and it's a safer heat for you and for your baby chicks. I will tell you though, I did see someone online have an issue recently. They bought a brooder plate that had little feathers hanging from it, thinking it was gonna mimic the mother hen's feathers. It sounds cool, right? Their baby chick got their beak caught in string from these feathers, and caused, I don't know if it killed the chick or if it just caused a major problem, but that makes pretty good sense. I never thought about that. We haven't used one like that, so I wouldn't have seen there's an issue with it, but it does make good sense. So don't overthink it. You don't need the feathers hanging down. Just get a basic brooder plate that's a good heater there that they can get under, and as long as you keep it raised to the right level, they will be just fine.
As you can see, they're all good. Good diet, clean brooder, proper heat, and there's no problems here. Isn't that right, Sonora? Yep, no problems at all.
I will address this one issue. This blew my mind. I had never heard of this issue, okay? People have issues with predators, feather pecking, can't reach their feeders and water stuff. If you got predators, issues with your baby chicks, means it's your fault. You're not keeping them safe enough, okay? But this one, prolapse, okay? I had never seen or heard anybody having problems with baby chicks and prolapse. Prolapse should be a rarity in your adult hens. Okay, it's essentially the intestinal lining comes out. Okay, let's look at what AI says, but that's essentially what it says. A vent prolapse, is when the vent protrudes outside the body. Okay, so like what happens with the hen when they prolapse is like their vent comes out. It's like an inside out intestinal lining almost. Okay, that happens when they've had a poor diet and laid huge massive eggs, and it's too much for their vent, and it just pops your vent out. It's like having an outie belly button almost. Okay, you have an outie vent. It's horrible. Okay, and that happens because typically of a poor diet in your chickens. AI says, which you can't trust AI, Google AI for everything, but just because it blew my mind, we're dealing with it. A vent prolapse in a baby chick occurs, when the vent or cloaca protrudes outside the body, often due to straining or being squished. What are you doing? In chicks, this can happen during handling, cleaning a pasted event, or if they are strained due to heat or constant cheeping, according to My Pet Chicken. Treatment involves cleaning the area, applying a lubricant, gently pushing it back inside, whatever. Let me tell you something right now. If you got a problem where you've got a prolapsed vent in your baby chick, that is your fault, and you've let something go way too long, okay? I'm talking way too long. It talked about hygiene issues. It talked about squishing them. It talked about pasty butt. Like, you've done something terribly wrong and let it go for terribly long. You should be ashamed of yourself if your chick has a prolapsed vent. Okay, that's just my feelings on it. I'm gonna be a little harsh maybe, but that should never happen. You should be paying attention to the issues that they're facing far, enough to where you can see it far in advance that never gets to that point. Okay, because that would be a horrible diet, horrible handling, horrible situation, brooder situation, like too crowded. It would be horribly too hot. Just all these things, and left like that for way too long. Okay, so that should never happen. I pray to God that you guys have never ever let that happen. Okay, that's too far. That shouldn't even be a thing. Okay, just be honest with you, that shouldn't even be a thing. So let's sum this up though, simply this: all of your problems can be solved or can be prevented. That's a better one. Let's prevent the problems. Let's not solve problems, let's prevent problems. They can be prevented by just keeping your brooder clean, giving them a good diet, and having a proper heat source, proper heating, okay? Those three things will cover up all your issues and prevent pretty much every problem. And, well, if predators are a problem, then they're not safe enough, okay? But the good diet, clean brooder, good hygiene, and good heat source, right? So thank you guys so much for watching. Do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you. Goodbye.